What's up, guys? Welcome to What If Izuku Was an Assassin. Now let's get into it. So yeah. Izuku is gonna be quirkless to let you know, sorry. But yeah. Also, it's gonna be this organization of like spies, you can say. And, and basically, I'm gonna call them SHIELD. They're kind of like heroes, but they're more of the heroes that would go undercover to get things. While the other flashy heroes that do things like that, like All Man and stuff like that, they're more of the secret organization to get things from different countries or something like that. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and this is gonna be Izuku X Elizabeth. And if you asking who Elizabeth is, that's gonna be a girl that Izuku likes. And she's gonna be a part of SHIELD. So yeah. So let's get to when Izuku is around 4. He goes to the quirk doctor and he finds out he's quirkless. Iko was expecting him to be sad, but quite the opposite. Izuku was actually happy that he was quirkless. And on their way home, Iko asked him why he was so happy. Izuku then says, well, if I had a quirk, I couldn't be an assassin. Iko is surprised by this. And once they get home, she asks Izuku to explain. Izuku then says, I wanted to be the first quirkless hero and also the assassin hero. And Izuku explains what he meant by assassin. Like, what he meant was like a secret kind of hero. So Inko says, oh, okay. So Izuku goes to the back of his to the backyard and start his training. And whatever. Oh, and Izuku isn't gonna be going to the same school as Bakuyo. He goes to a different school. Once he gets to school, people bully him for being, quirkless. Well, they bully him until he's around the age of 13. But during the whole time that he's been at the school, a girl liked him, and that's Elizabeth. But she could never talk to him since, she had to do training to go to SHIELD. And also Izuku was always training when she was finna ask him out on a date or whatever. But Izuku knows multiple different martial arts. He knows how to use all types of weapons. He knows how to be resourceful. Basically, he's an all-around good assassin. So yeah. Let's skip to when Izuku's around the age. Yeah. Let's get to when Izuku is 14. By this time, no one is bullying him. Because they know Izuku could take them out easily. Actually, since Izuku was around the age of 6, he could take anyone out easily. Even if they did have a powerful quirk. So they've been stopped bullying him ever since he was 6, my guy. So they never messed with him again. But like I said, Izuku's is 14 now. And he finally had the guts to ask Elizabeth out. By this time, she got accepted into SHIELD. But the thing is, yes, she got accepted, but she had to go to a hero school to fully join SHIELD. So, yeah. And Izuku is, like, super powerful. Like, hand-to-hand combat, he can beat anyone. He knows 137 different styles of martial arts. And I believe there's 140, 47, somewhere near those of different martial arts styles. And also, let me tell you his stats, though. His strength, he can lift about 10 tons. I'll say that's half of what All Might can lift. And he could run up to 500 miles per hour, beating Ida by 200 miles. No, beating Ida by 400 miles. 300 miles, I'll say. Yeah, 300 miles. And he's like All Might fast. Yeah, he's as fast as All Might. So yeah. Izuku knows you can't always rely on your strength in a battle. So that's why he focused more on his speed. And Izuku is always carrying a weapon around him, like a knife or something like that. If he can't like fight a person in a battle or and almost get beat into a pulp or something like that, he can use his knife to basically kill that person. And Izuku has no trouble killing. He can easily kill a person without hesitation. That's what makes him even scarier at his school. That's why people don't like mess with him. Cause I say it's one time when Izuku was around the age of 10. A school shooter was there and Izuku had a knife on him. Izuku disabled the shooter and killed him. And everyone saw he did it with no hesitation. No hesitation and no regret. It was labeled as self-defense. So that won't like mess up his record or get into UA. So yeah. So like I said, Izuku asked Elizabeth out on a date. They decided to go and whatever. I say now Izuku goes to Bakio's school. He had transferred since Inko moved. I say she moved. He's now new at middle school. People started to try to pick on him. But every person that tried to pick on him either had a broken bone or had mental damage. So in the first week of him going to school, people are terrified of him. And Izuku, let me tell you his height though. He is 7'1". 7'1". That's the size of All Might in his buff form. So he is tall. And he is jacked. No, I say he's like 6'9". Yeah, 6'9". So he is tall and jacked. So yeah. So I'll say Bakio really haven't heard of Izuku since he lives he's in a different classroom and they really don't get that gossip until like months later after it happened or whatever. So yeah, I'll say this is the end of the school year now. Bakio heard about it. No, he witnessed it. I say they did hear about it, but Bakio didn't believe it. So he decided he kept hearing about it, so he got tired of it. So he was gonna go confront Izuku, and that's when he saw him battling someone that was like his goon. That was almost as powerful as him. His goon tried to use his fire on Izuku. Izuku just dodged it. When he tried to use it again, Izuku broke his arm. Broke his other arm. And just start beating on him. Just start wailing on him like it was nothing. Then he slammed the goon dead into the ground, making a crater. And I say the teachers were trying to stop him, but they couldn't. If they even got close to him, they would get their legs broken. Cause a teacher tried to stop him once. Her arm was broke. She put up a good fight against him, though. He had a few scratches on him. Better than anyone else that couldn't even get a scratch on him. But whatever. So they will not get anywhere closer to him. They're just trying to talk him out of doing it. That's when one teacher calls the ambulance and the cops. And basically, the cops got All Might to the stand. Because Endeavor tried to calm Izuku down, but ended up getting his arm broke. Ended up getting his arm broke and pushed to the side like he was nothing. And the other heroes that tried to stop him, well, Izuku was already done with the person, but they were just trying to like take him in for questioning. And the other people that tried to mess with him, they got flung. I'm literally talking flung. Like, they got flung over buildings. But they ended up okay. Aside from they had to go to the emergency room or whatever. So, they had to call All Might in. All Might came. And basically, he calmed Izuku down. Because Izuku, the reason he fought the Gon was because he said something about Inko. And that's the whole reason he was mad. So Bakio witnessed all of this. But he still thought he was better than Izuku. Because the rumors are that that Izuku is quirkless. So yeah. So Izuku basically went on with the rest of his day. Now it's the end of the school year. The end of the day. Right when they're about to leave, Bakio basically... No. The teacher comes in and says, you all want to be... I say Izuku got transferred to Bakio's classroom because Izuku was still mad at the goon, so they had to transfer him to Bakio's classroom. So it's the end of the day now. The teacher comes in and says, you all have to fill out what you want to do after you graduate from school. And then he throws the paper in the air and says, who am I kidding? I bet you all want to be heroes. And then he basically catches one and says, oh, it's two people from our school that wants to go to UA. Izuku and Baki. No, they say Bakio's name. And then he's surprised and says Izuku. People start basically talking to each other and says, that villain, he almost killed that person earlier. And they're gonna let him try out for UA? And then the person who said Izuku then stands up, walks over to him and says, do you want to say that to my face? Izuku basically has anger anger. He needs to go to anger management. Because, no, I won't say that. I say he's still mad of what the goon said. Even at the end of the day. So the person is basically shaking in fear. And basically starts stuttering over his words. And Bakio says, don't bully him. Stop bullying him, you quirkless weakling. Izuku then turns his head and says, weakling? And then he zooms and he appears right in front of Bakio and slams him dead into the window with one hand and says, who are you calling weak? Bakio then uses his most powerful explosion and explode Izuku in the face. And after the smoke clears, he sees Izuku only has a scratch on his face. And right then, Bakio was terrified. Izuku can see the fear in his eyes. Izuku then smiles and says, you're afraid. What happened to all of that cockiness you just had a few seconds ago? And then Izuku drops Bakio, with Bakio just shaking in fear. Everyone is just looking at Bakio. They could tell he's shaking and that he's terrified. Izuku sits back down. Izuku then leaves. With the teacher finna say something, but Izuku gives him a look. Which, that look means, F with me, and I'll break every single bone in your body. Literally, the only two people that could fully calm Izuku down is Elizabeth and Inko. But Elizabeth doesn't go to Izuku's school. So yeah. So after Izuku leaves, about an hour later, the bell rings and everyone leaves. Izuku then meets Elizabeth at a cafe, which they have like a little date. Like somewhat of a date, you can say. They're going out, right, at this point. Yeah, they're going out. And basically, Elizabeth can tell that Izuku is mad. Then she asks about what happened today. Izuku then tells her the full story. Then Elizabeth started to calm Izuku down. So yeah. So they're both going. So Elizabeth then tells Izuku that she's gonna be going to UA. Izuku then says, "I am too." So basically, they decided not to talk to each other for the whole 10 months because they needed to train a lot. They needed to train a lot to get into UA. So they decided not to talk to each other the whole 10 months. By the time the 10 months are over, Izuku is as powerful. Izuku can lift about 13 tons now and can run up to 600 miles, being faster than All Might. So yeah. So they go to the entrance exam where they take the written exam. Izuku isn't the brightest, but he isn't the dumbest. He gets about 10th place out of the written exam, with Elizabeth getting second behind Momo, because Elizabeth is really smart. So they go they go to the lecture hall, where Izuku just goes to sleep because he really doesn't care. And right now, as you can see, he has a rifle. Izuku has a rifle on his back. 2 like 9mm in his on his sides. A Uzi in his back pocket. A Uzi and like a knife. 2 hunter knives. And basically, Ida sees this and also sees him sleeping. But Ida stands up and says, "Sir, you forgot about one robot, and that is very, 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 what did he say? It was in a comment. Ungraceful for you to print something on a piece of paper, a flyer of UA, and I am going to leave if you don't to explain yourself." And then he points to Izuku, which Elizabeth wakes Izuku up. He says, "And you are very disrespectful of basically annoying everyone around us." Izuku then gets a smile on his face and pulls out a 9mm, and he appears right in front of Ida and pits the gun up to his face. And he says, "Can you say that again?" Ida is like, "You won't pull the trigger." Izuku then says, "I won't, right? I won't." And then he shoots Ida in the leg. Ida screams in pain, And Izuku then points it at his head and says, I killed the person before. And I can't kill again. Which terrifies everyone that's there. And Izuku puts the gun away. And, I forgot the healing lady's name. Yeah, I forgot. But she heals, Ida. So, yeah. They go to the fighting exam. I forgot what it was. And basically, President Mike says go, and Izuku runs, going faster than Ida. Izuku just starts punching and destroying robots. Then he decides to go up to the roofs. He just starts shooting at the robots, destroying robots left and right, left and right, left and right. By the time the zero pointer comes, he already has 200 points from helping people and from destroying robots. Izuku basically is ready to walk away, but then he hears a scream. He zooms, appearing right in front of the zero pointer, pulls back his fist, and punches, and sends a huge shockwave at the zero pointer, exploding it. He falls, pulls off the rubble of off of Uraraka, and basically takes her to a recovery girl. Now I remember it. So yeah. So he go home and Elizabeth goes with them, and they decided to, do it. Do the nasty. Which they found out Izuku was really good at it for some reason. Then it's time for the first day of UA. They go in, Izuku is kind of late. He busts open the door and sits down by Bakia. Elizabeth then comes in and is finna sit by Izuku, but Uraraka speeds by her and sits by Izuku. Which Izuku Izuku is kind of blunt, so he doesn't understand. But Elizabeth understands that Uraraka has a crush on him. So she sits behind Izuku, mad. So Uraraka basically just starts trying to make conversation with Izuku. With Izuku just ignoring her, and he goes to sleep. And that's when Aizawa comes in and basically yells at everyone for talking so much. When he sees Izuku asleep, he then says, wait, isn't that the kid who got first place in the entrance exam? And sorry, I just heard something. And then he says, wake up. Izuku gets up, and then basically Aizawa said what he said, and the in canon, and they go to the boys' locker room. Or I say the girls can peek into the boys' locker room from like a hole. No, I'll say there is a girl that replaces Mineta. She can make things see-through and also go through things. So she decided to look at the boys. And she made the wall see-through. But she also made it so they can see through it, but the boys can't see through the wall. And they're like, whoa, all of them ripped, which they think is kind of hot. But until they see Izuku, my guy, they see Izuku take off their shirt, they're already in love. Like, his looks alone made them kind of like him a lot. But once they saw his body, my guy, they fell in love. And Izuku puts on his shirt and he leaves. But then Izuku been noticed that they was watching them, cause assassin. But then he walks up to the wall and says, "Can you stop watching us? Can you stop watching us?" All the boys are like, "What? What? Why is he talking to the wall?" And the girls are like freaked out and like, "How does he know we're watching them?" And Izuku then says, "Well, this all your problems now," and he leaves. But first, he hits the wall, destroying the projectile thingy that she was doing, and the boys can see into the girls' locker rooms. And the girl who had the quirk basically made it disappear. No, I said that's Elizabeth quirk. She was trying to pick on Izuku, but she was forced to do like the whole room. So yeah. So everyone gets outside and Aizawa says whoever's in last place, gets expelled. And let's skip all the way over the test. Izuku is first place in everything but the brawl throw. He got second place in that. Where I'm gonna end it off is by the hero versus villains. So the next day, after all of their tests and stuff, it's time for Aeronautics. Basically, All Might comes in and he explains everything that he did in canon. And the teams are Bakio and Elizabeth versus Izuku and Uchaka Uraraka. So all the girls are jealous that she got to be a part of Izuku's team, and basically, yeah. So Uraraka is trying to make a plan with Izuku. Izuku is just ignoring her, and once All Might says go, Izuku scales the building quickly. He gets to the rooftop, busts opens the door. Bakio tries to explode Izuku. Izuku sends him flying straight out of the building. Basically, Elizabeth tried to fight Izuku with her combat skills, but she wasn't strong enough for him. Yes, she has a lot of combat skills, even more than Izuku has, but she isn't able to keep up with Izuku's speed and strength. So Izuku knocks her out and touches the bomb. All the while, Uraraka is trying to get into the building, but she hears Hero Team wins. Everyone is surprised that he got done with it in the record of around 30 seconds. 30 seconds. All Might says, "I didn't even get through my test. Get through this test in 30 seconds. Everyone is surprised. So yeah. And here's how I'm gonna end it off. Bye bye, booty cheeks.